This is Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Budapest Honvéd. The year was 1954, and the English club Wolverhampton claimed a 3-2 victory over their Hungarian rival.
Smith races down the left wing. Thick pass to Swinburne, who cracks in his second goal. The goal that makes the final score 3-2 to the happy Wanderers. Wolves have licked the greatest club side in the world.
In 1954, Wolves were the English champions and top of the league when they faced the mighty Hungarian team at the newly built Molineux Stadium. Honvéd were the 4-time Hungarian champions and boasted a team of top stars, 7 of whom were runners-up in the 1954 World Cup, including the great Puskás. The Wolverhampton Wanderers' 3-2 comeback victory made many enthusiastic British journalists declare them the best club team in the world. Declaring a team the best in the world without the inclusion of other top teams in a competition is at best suspect. Gabriel Honvéd, former French footballer turned journalist at L'Équipe, wasn't having this declaration. Honvéd, along with his colleagues Jacques de Wiesvik and Jacques Ferrand, devised a plan to start the European Cup, which eventually morphed into the Champions League, a competition that drew inspiration from the South American Championships of Champions, or what we know today as the Copa Libertadores. The Champions League as we know it today is a modern football spectacle with a global fan base and commercial partners of the highest accord. And in the view of many, the Champions League eclipses the World Cup in terms of quality of football. If we go back to the Wolverhampton Wanderers Honvéd game of 1954, Gabriel Honvéd, in witnessing Wolves' stunning comeback, declared in his editorial for L'Équipe that without the likes of Real Madrid and AC Milan, the grandiose declaration of the best in the world cannot be made. He then set things in motion to design a competition that could declare the best club team in Europe. A list of 16 teams considered to be the best in the various European leagues was assembled, and executives from each club were invited to Paris to discuss the formation of a new competition. Part of the strategy of the organizing committee was to name the competition La Coupe de Président Celdreas. Naming football tournaments after administrators was conventional practice at the time. For example, the World Cup trophy is named after former FIFA president Jules Rimet. Seeking to name the competition after Celdreas, then FIFA president, was intended in part to gain his support for the launch of the new competition. Celdreas died less than 2 years after becoming FIFA president, but the prevailing opinion for why he refused the cup to be named after him was that he believed regional competitions had no business being named after FIFA presidents. At this point, you should be asking why FIFA was approached to set up a new European competition and not UEFA. To be clear, the creation of the European Cup, now the Champions League, had nothing to do with UEFA. The organizing group established by the French newspaper L'Équipe I mentioned earlier, led by Ernest Bergegnons, went to FIFA because it was FIFA that had the authority to sanction tournaments. However, the move to smooth over FIFA to rally support did not go very well with some of the FIFA executives. L'Équipe in 1955 also presented the proposal for the European Cup to the UEFA Congress meeting in Venice. For the most part, it was well received, but the French delegation was unsupportive. How ironic. Henri Delaunay, the French football administrator and UEFA General Secretary, was against the proposal because he was in the midst of establishing the European Championships, a competition between national teams in Europe, and Delaunay didn't want anything to meddle with the establishment of these championships. Despite concerns by Delaunay and others in Europe, FIFA on May 9, 1955 called an emergency committee meeting in London and approved the competition coming into existence. When you think about how big the competition is today, you would think it was smooth sailing after FIFA gave the green light. But the European Cup was up against the Latin Cup, which was in place since 1949, and the Intercity Fierce Cup, the predecessor to the Europa League. The biggest obstacle the competition faced at the time were national associations. The English FA in particular did not allow Chelsea to play in the first year of the European Cup. It was Sir Matt Busby who managed to convince the English FA to allow Manchester United to participate the following year, making United the first English team to enter the competition. The European Cup started with 16 teams, all champions of their home countries' leagues. They would all face each other in two-legged knockout ties, home and away, and a one-legged final would crown the winners of the European Cup. The competition structure remained largely unchanged for a few decades. The only exception is the addition of other European domestic league winners and allowing the defending champion a place in the competition if they fail to qualify for the next tournament. UEFA introduced group stages in 1991. 32 teams started the tournament in a two-legged knockout round, which was then reduced to 8 teams. The final 8 teams were placed in 2 groups of 4, and the winner of each group played against each other in the final. In 1992, UEFA underwent a major rebrand and changed the name to the UEFA Champions League. We also got the UEFA anthem and the UEFA Champions League match ball with the star logo. In 1997, second place finishers from some leagues were granted entry. And in 1999, a maximum of 4 teams from the big European leagues could enter. The expansion and format changes of the UEFA Champions League since the late 1990s reflects a commitment to integrating Europe, a post-World War II effort at peace and stability.
Throughout the world, throngs of people hail the end of the war in Europe. It is 5 years and more since Hitler marched into Poland.
The growth in teams in the competition also corresponds to the globalization of football, where football reached television screens around the world. This of course meant revenue generation has increased. But the honest truth is that changes to the competition are now always a response to the powerful European clubs wanting a bigger share of the pie, and the threats to break away and form alternative leagues, as we saw in 1998 when the G14 clubs threatened to form their own league, and most recently the launch of the Super League in 2021, which was criticized for trying to destabilize the structure of football, illustrates the power big clubs have. Dare I say it, the worst is yet to come. Let me know in the comment section if you think the Super League will return and destroy the Champions League. If you find value in this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching.